Okay, last rule. If I'm looking at a number that has a 0 at the end, we call those trailing zeros, and there is no decimal anywhere at all in the number, then I have to look at it and wonder if this 0 on the end is actually significant or not. I know that the 2 and the 5 are significant because they're non-zero numbers, and non-zero numbers are always significant. If I had put a decimal here, I would say, okay, I've got 3 sig figs for sure because it's 1 or bigger and it has a decimal. That's 3 sig figs. Since there is no decimal, I am now not assuming decimals anymore. So when we were doing metric conversions, if there was no decimal in the number, we assumed that there was a decimal at the end, and I told you you'd have to unlearn that soon. The reason I can't assume that there's a decimal here is because this may be a rounded figure. That's why that 0 may or may not be significant. For instance, I'm having a wedding. No, I'm not, but if I were. And I invited 252 people to that wedding. And then Tracy McMahon, your English teacher, comes and asks, oh, how many people are you inviting to the wedding? I wouldn't say 252. That's really nerdy. I would round it and say 250. About 250 people. So when I do that, the 0 isn't actually measured data. I'm not saying that I invited exactly 250 people. If I wanted to let Mrs. McMahon know that I invited actually 250 people exactly, I'd throw a decimal there and make it 3 sig figs. But since I didn't, it may or may not be a rounded value. When you just look at the number, you don't know if it's been rounded or not. You don't know the context of the number. So the way I want you to report these in class is, it may be 2 significant figures, right? Or it may have 2 significant figures, or 3. Because we don't know if that 3 is significant, or that 0 is significant or not, that third number. Another example, if I had 1,000, no, I always use 1,000. Let's use something else. Let's say 80,200. I know that this 8 is significant, this 2 is significant because they are non-zero numbers. I know that this 0 is significant because it's sandwiched. These 2 zeros, I don't know. They're trailing. There is no decimal anyplace in the number. So I know that for sure I have 3 sig figs. But I may also have 4 sig figs. It may just be that this last digit has been, hey, welcome in. This last digit has been rounded, or else maybe that really represents measured data. Maybe I have 8,200 jelly beans in the jar. And if that was the case, then I have 5 sig figs. So I want you to report it as 3, 4, or 5 significant digits.